The face of the hurt. The face of the hurt. I'm going to leave a God's message to you today from the content of today's message. Mark chapter 2, verse 23. On Sabbath, Jesus was going through the grain field, and his head disciplines worked along. They began to pick down some head of grain. Jesus' disciples were really hungry, so they ate some head of grain through the grain field. So this time, the Pharisees saw disciples eating. Mark chapter 2, verse 24. The Pharisees said, "Look, what are they doing? What is unlawful on Sabbath?" They blame the disciplines. Then they say, "Your discipline broke down the rules of Sabbath." Then Jesus defended discipline against the Pharisees. He gave the example in Samuel chapter 1, verse 1 to 6. Jesus said that, "Look at the Bible. David also ate the consecrated bread, which is lawful only for priests to eat. He committed a sin, but he did not receive any punishment. What is your attitude? Do not make any complaints about this." What is the main point of his saying? Mark chapter 2, verse 23. He said to them, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Man is more important than Sabbath. The Sabbath day is for man, not man for the Sabbath." Why did God make the day? Not just for himself. God made for man. The day is a gift for man. The day is for man to accomplish. The days give man the blessing. Jesus said that God made the day for man. Why did the Pharisees complain about this? This is what Jesus said. I think the summary in the Gospel of God is John chapter 10, verse 10. There is an obvious approach between God and evil. John chapter 10, verse 10, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. The thief is the evil. The purpose of the evil to kill others. It is not important what process goes. It doesn't matter what the results in the end. When you look at the person tries to die. This is from the evil. What the results makes people lie is from God. He has come that people have a life and have it to the full. It is Father's heart, it is Mother's heart, and it is God's heart. People are too weak, so they can be fooled from the evil. How can you not be fooled? We can realize the happenings from the God or the evil. Also, we can distinguish the lie from the death. From today's sermon, we can find out the proof of what the faith is. I'll give you two characteristics of the essence of the faith. To begin with, it makes people alive. The evil leads us to the death. God gave us the laws and the rules. It is God's commandments. It's for us. God wants us to live in a better way in our life. When you ask who made the laws, who made the rules, now we can understand the main idea of the points. We do not ask the reasons why they made the law. There is only the rules left in our life. People focus on the laws and the rules. So this makes people fall down and die. This is a figure out of essence of the faith. I'll give you one example. There is a family. Parents make the rule. They say to their child, "Do not sleep outside. You do not stay up all night outside." They treat their child strictly. Their children should follow the rules. I think this is the right rule. Also, their parents build up more details of the rules. They write some list of it. They say to their child, "If you break the one rule, you would get light punishment. If you break the two rules, I'll give you a little bit." The father said that if you break more than three, you would not be my child anymore. The father said that our family will not accept you as one of the family member anymore. This is a strict rule in their family. Why the parents make the rules? They make the rules to protect their child. They would like to protect the child. The rule is not the main purpose for them. The parents really want the child to grow up well and live in a better way. They would like to take care of the child with their heart. So this is not the commandment. This is for man. This is not the Sabbath day. This is for man. As the time passes by, it can be changed. The rules are important. The rules are important too. People must follow them. They must behave either having the rules. Maybe some of you just understand this concept without any thinking. Some of you do not understand this point. So they ask me what we have to follow, and they do not accept the rules and the rules. Do you know why they have rules? We need the certain rules and laws to maintain social order. If the order of the society is broken, it would make people confusion in keeping social order. Therefore, people must accept the rules and they must follow them. The other word of the order is justice. It does not matter who does not accept. People must follow justice. The spirit of the Pharisees is that we do not forgive others. Furthermore, we cannot forgive others. We can understand the rules. Please do not invert deceptions of the evil. Christianity is to overcome the moral. The definition of the moral is to keep the standard of the universality. With this moral, people can follow the rules and they can keep the justice. However, in our life, it is hard for people. We like to blame others. They like to attack others. So, they cannot make people lie. To make them alive, only the gospel makes them alive. God gave us to keep the laws, the rules, and the moral. They are valuable in people's lives, but they are only chosen in God. So, this makes people to live better, and it is the main purpose for them. Have you heard of peddler with the basket of wares? In the history of Korea, there is women who carry the baskets of wares in their heads. They sold fruits, vegetables, and house items in their baskets. They carry the baskets and they sold different items. They were like the mobile supermarkets. There were women who carried a basket of wares on her head. A few years ago, we did not call the Parents' Day, we called Mother's Day. Not Father's Day. Our felt sexual discrimination because it was for a mother. So most of fathers complain about the name of the day. So the name was changed as Parents' Day. Maybe new generations do not know about this day, but the older generations knew it. I'll give you a family as one of the most famous story. There was a writing competitions of Mother's Day. There is a woman, actually she's a widow. Her husband was already dead, and she had one daughter. She had a hard time and needed to work hard. Her child was smart and she was good at everything. Her mother devoted her life for her child. The child was the only one hope for life. Her life was everything for her child. She gave her life. She worked really hard for her child's life. When she looked at her, her child was the only one hope and lover. She worked hard to raise a child. She was proud of her child. When she got the child, she had the hope and the love. She could have the expectation of her. She felt her child's joy. The child was everything for her. When she walked by the place near her child's school, she saw her. Her child was smart and was famous in school. Her mother expected her too much and loved her too much. She sacrificed everything for her daughter. Her child was with joy and hope. One day, the woman walked near the daughter's school. Then she ran into the door and went away. Her daughter saw the mother. The woman asked her child, "My daughter, how is your school today?" Then the daughter felt ashamed of her mother. She replied, "Excuse me, Mrs. Where are you going?" Her saying embarrassed her. The mother said, "I am just passing by." Then she left. Their conversation between the mother and daughter was really bad. Both of them were really shocked from their answers. When they come back home, they did not ask each other. They went silent. They did not ask the situation. They did not make any excuses about the situation. They have not talked about it for a long time. If they tried to explain, they would get hurt each other, so they did not say any word of it. The mother knew her daughter's mind, and also the daughter also knew her mother's heart. They knew each other, so they did not want to hurt each other. This means that they love each other. The meaning of the love is that love does not make people any excuse, and it doesn't make them any question. Later, the woman was dead. The daughter felt bad in her life. She kept saying, "I am not a good daughter," in her mind. She did not forgive herself. She was regretted what she said to her mother at the time. Later on, the daughter got older, so she got married and had a daughter. The woman loved her daughter so much and devoted her life for her child. When she raised a child, she realized something about her mother. When she said, "Excuse me, Mrs., where are you going to?" she felt bad in her mind, but she saw that it didn't make her mind hurt. After daughter had a child, she felt her mother's mind. She said that if I were her, I would like her. If she were back to the situation, she would say like her. The mother chose the right things because she didn't want her child to get hurt. She tried to make her child be happy. She tried to make her child get a success, and she tried to make child receive benefits. She protected her child alive. So the daughter realized that she would like to like her mother. Also, she realized that she performed with joy, not sadness. What does this woman behavior? She acted to make her daughter still alive. Please do not judge others. Some of you think, what are they doing? Why are they doing? They do not make any serious situation. We need to have God's heart. Sometimes it shows different situations in our life. The mother devoted her life for her daughter. The daughter thought the mother had a hurt in mind for a long time, but she was wrong. She acted for her daughter joyfully. That's God's heart. We need to understand our God's heart. These days, people around the world are crazy for the Korean's wave or Hallyu. A lot of foreigners really like Korean music. But with this way, the God's message should be spread around the world. If they listen to God's message, they would become Christians. Do you understand what God's heart? People think that when we follow God's laws and rules, God will be happy. You got misunderstands about God's heart. This is your thought. You did not catch up the God's heart. Do you understand your mother's heart? You will understand when you are a mother. It is not easy to understand God's heart. We should not judge our Father's heart externally. We need to think about the foundations of it. It is for life or death. But the mother chose a life. She made daughter's life. Our God likes to make us alive. If you do understand His heart, I can tell you do not understand His message. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1. If I speak in the tongues of men or the angels, but have no love, I am only the resounding gong and change the symbol. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7 is always protects, always trust, always hope, always the perseveres. Love does everything to them. We cannot say any word with love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1 to 10. We cannot say any word with love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9 to 10. For we know in part and we purpose in part. But when the perfection comes, the imperfections disappears. Without love, we know in part only. Do not mention about the laws without love. Do not mention of the rules without love. Do not mention about justice without love. Nowadays, there are some books about justice. When you read and study about justice from the book, probably you know in part of it. When perfection comes, the imperfection disappears. The meaning of this is that is love. When you are loved, we will know God's mind. What is the heart of God? It makes us alive. I want all Hongdae New Church members to have the God's heart, and I want all Hongdae New Church members to have the Mother's heart. This is for life. We can do everything when the perfection comes, not in part. So we can understand the whole things of everything. This is the foundation of faith. I want you to focus God's heart in your life. The other one for foundation of faith is power. The Pharisees have made 39 lists of commandments. One of the commandments is that people do not cut the grains on the Sabbath day. The Pharisees are meant for power in religion. They must keep the commandments. They keep the relationship power. There is a comparison between power and love in the Bible. The opposite word of love is not hatred, it's power. Conversely, the opposite word of power is love. I have already mentioned before, I'll give you an example. In a life, when a couple argues, a person who loves more do not want to keep the fight. So the person says sorry first. Also, when the parents argue with their children, the parents try to listen what children say because they understand the children's heart and they love them more than the children. This is a losing game for the lover. I'll give you one example. A man is a playboy and a woman is a sincere person. The woman always listens to the man because she loves him so much. The love and the power is opposite. To explain, when I have power, this means that I do not love anyone, and when I am in love, I can lose anything. In our life, people prefer power to love, but we must choose love, not the power. This is the foundation of faith. We went to Nepal for a mission. We went to Byoung, one of the mission places. It takes more than 3 hours from Kathmandu. It is called Untouchable Village. It has the caste system from high to low levels. The high level is Brahman, the low level is Shudra. We went to some houses in the village. Some of the families provide us a cup of black tea. We asked them, "Where did you get this tea?" They say it's just water from outside. It was hard to drink it, but we just drank the tea because they provide us. Some families provide us small fish. It was the driest. It smells pretty bad, but we just ate it because they provide us. We could not ignore it. When we stayed in the untouchable village, I saw a Mother Teresa. She was a famous person of the giving to the needy. She devoted her life to take care of the low-level people, lepers and sick people in Kolkata in India. When we think of the giving, we just help others who are weak and poor. However, I remember one part of Mother Teresa saying, "The giving is not for just help." This means that if a person needs the food, we provide the food. If the person needs the clothes, we provide the clothes. If the person feels thirsty, we provide drinks. If the person is sick, we provide the medical treatments. She says that I can do that for them, but I'm here to meet the poor and respect their characters and rights. The giving is for the respect. The personality of people will be destroyed when they are in the pain and danger. When people have a tribulation, they thought I am not an unvaluable person. They treat themselves badly, and then they cannot accept their line. Their ego is broken down. The Mother Teresa provides their needs. Also, she respects the poor like human, like the children of God. They get the respect as God's figure. This is the giving. However, people use it with their power. I do not want the system with the givers and receivers. The receivers always receive from others. Maybe these people easily get hurt their mind. They feel like the beggar. The givers always give others, so these people get the power in their mind. In the giving, they show their character and the power in the religion. Also, they try to get back from others. Matthew chapter 6, verse 2. So, when you give it to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do not in the synagogues and on the streets, to be honored by men. I'll tell you the truth, they have received their rewards are full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. And with the giving, we respect others. We do not act with the power especially. It can show the power in church. For example, we have the leader of our praising team. He hasn't been in the position for 5 months. He's really a humble person and doing well as a leader. But if he has been more than 20 or 13 years, he would become an older. Then he will try to show his power because he has long experiences. When someone divorces his or her life with the power, this is not faith. In our society, it may be worse. but not in God. People who have been worked for a choir and mission might have the power to show their character. They are proud of themselves and compare with others' life. They really like to show their power. Some of them pray a lot, but this makes them show their power. They ask, "Do you often come to dawn service?" "I have come to the dawn service more than 5 years." They say that I live far from church, but I never miss the service. This saying is to show his or her power. In our society, you can see the relationship with employees in a company. Employers show their power to the employees, while the employees have less power. Even in the church members show their power to others. Now, our church is really new church. We are only 5 months now. In our church members, some of them are here before the church was started up. And some of them come to our church after that. I'm worried that there have been conflicts among church members. Some of them who came early show their power to others who came late. The former group acted like a man of power in church. This makes church destroyed because of the power. When the power existed, it couldn't make conflicts. This is not a church anymore. People play with the church. When church members show their power and strength, the church cannot exist anymore. It can be secularization. The human society comes to church. This is called secularization. The prince of a church comes to society. It is called the gospel. We need to ask ourselves how we act with the power and the law. In Korean church, we get used to have a relationship of master and servant, especially it is in a society. It's like a relationship of high and low level. People evaluate how the high level is and then who the low level is. A servant obeys what the master says. One of the church members tries to be a humble person. When I ask for help, he or she says that I am an ordinary Christian. I am not able to do it. The person thinks that the pastor is the master while the person is a servant. This is what the person thinks. I dislike hearing what the person says. This is not the principle of the gospel. I am a pastor, but I do not make relation with pastor and church members. I want our church members to treat me as their friend in spiritual relationship. We can have a close relationship. We are in a missions. I act like they are friends. I am close 50s, but I do not want to be behave the older person. Among our missionary members, the youngest one is 22 years old, so I try to be her friend. I really want to see their happiness, so I made a joke with them. I'm trying to respect the younger missionaries. We try to respect each other. Also, they respect me. I think this is important for us. In our conversation, we can see the power of saying. In our conversation, we can see many cases. A person who has more power is giving answers before others gives the answer. The person who says the first gives the right answer quickly because he or she does not have any spare time. Why this person have no spare time? Maybe he or she thinks other people are low level. He or she is not interested in others, so the content of the conversation is really simple because the person does not want to spend time on the conversation. They just want to know the right answer. He or she doesn't give any respect for others. Even in our church, the elders share the similar patterns of the conversation. Most elders have been to church for a long time, so they try to be faithful. So in their conversation, they try to show their power. They want to be superior than others. One of the church members saying, "I'm tired, I have some tribulation." Then one of the elders replies that, "You not pray." This means that the conversation starts continuing. The elder saying is like a commandment. In other words, the elder is a player, while the church members is not. Please do not have a conversation like this with any order. The elder is saying means that you need to pray a lot without any complaints. The conversation does not contain any love. Look at the Luke chapter 15. It is about the parables of the lost son. The lost son came to his father, then he said everything from his mind. Luke chapter 15, verse 21. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. The lost son should have no word in excuse. But he confessed, then I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. If the father has similar attitude like the other attitude, the lost son cannot be said any word. Maybe the father let him not speak. But the father showed friendly to his son. Look at the Luke chapter 15 verse 20. While he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran his son. The father gave him with a warm hug and love. Then the lost son said his father about what he would really want to say to his father with his heart. He said, Father, I have sinned. In our life, some people say, I have sinned, with others do not. The lost son said, I am no longer worth to be called your son. This is the repentance. Some people repent their sins while others do not. Without love, we cannot say this word. Without power, we cannot say this word. Some people do not say any word because they are afraid of people who have power. I would like to introduce one of the church members. She says that I have never received any love of my husband. When I look at her, she does not have any happiness. It makes me sad. She does not have any satisfactions in her life. She has not received any respect from her husband, so this makes her say any word. She said, I have nothing to say. About 4 or 5 years ago, I introduced one of the famous South American writers. His name is Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I like this writer. The name of the book he wrote is 100 Years on Solitude. He is a Colombian writer. He described the spirit of the poor in his story. Especially, I like The Wife, one of the stories of his books. It is a short story. From the story, a wife is the main character. Her husband took a ship for work, but he got an accident from the shipwreck, so he did not come back. Everyone thought he's dead from the shipwreck. His best friends came to her to comfort her, who was in sorrow. She accepted his comfort, then they slept. This should not be happened in their relationship, but they broke the rule. This is the line. The husbands who are supposed to be dead come back. So the wife and his best friends were shocked. After 10 years, the wife felt guilty. It was a hard time for her to see her husband. She could not stand anymore, so she confessed her sins to her husband. I thought, you are dead. So I was in sorrow. And your best friends came to me then, comforted me. She said that. After time, I was not all right. I committed a sin. Please forgive me. She said it truly. As after she confessed, her husband replied, I do not care. Forgive you. Without any thinking, he said that. Then he went to her room. After husband saying this, she was upset. She felt like being a sinner for 10 years and was in pain, but her husband's answer was really simple. He just replied, I do not care, I forgive you. She was in silence for a second, then she acted consciously. She opened the door, then she shouted, You have never loved me and have never forgiven me. You are not in relationship with me anymore. At the time of this story, I have found the climax of love in the story. I say that there is no love without having any word. She said that there is no love without nothing to say. Her husband said, I do not care, I forgive. His saying is very simple. After this saying, she had nothing to say. When someone says, I do not care, I forgive you, you feel cold and angry from the person saying it. If I were husband, I heard the news. I would be angry, I would be in pain. I could not eat any food for 3 or 4 days. After the consideration, I will talk her, then I will say, I was really angry, but I tried to understand your mind, so I forgive you, I really love you. You are not the one, I really live with you. I will love you forever. You are my true lover. This is my confession. Let's start again with this pain. I say this is the love, but the husband's mother said nothing. He did not love her. Let's look at the father of the lost son. Look at him. You can see the father loves his sons with his heart. So, the lost son compares his sons to his father. The father gave him his one heart. I'll give you one another example. A girl did not perform well in her examination. And after that, she came back home. She was really bad. So she went to her room and she stayed for a long time inside. Her mother wondered what she was doing inside. So she opened the door and asked, aren't you starving? Whereas the father asked about test. But the mother only thinks about daughter's health, not the test result. The daughter shouted, "No, I'm not hungry." From the mother's question, it makes her daughter speak with any word. Maybe a few minutes later, she will come out of the room. Only loves to make someone speak. Look at John 8. This is about the woman caught in adultery. This part shows Jesus' character in his love. Look at her, she got caught in adultery. She could not say any word. In reality, maybe somebody comes to her and asks her, "Why did you do that? Who did you with? How did you feel?" All questions are really bad for her, so she could not answer any questions. These questions are really bad, and maybe they are from the evil. Only questions are left without any answers. The woman couldn't answer, so these questions makes her keep silent. Jesus said that if one of you is without sin, let him be the first to bestow a stone at her. Then everyone left. Only Jesus and the woman stayed. Then Jesus asked her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" Then Jesus said, and makes her speak without any words. The woman said, "No one, sir." Then neither do I condemn you, Jesus declared. Go now and live your life of sin. Jesus tries to ask questions to answer for us. He shows the love. In our society, there is only one way. There is not for love. Only a man of power can control and speak. If someone speaks, the man of power says that, "What do you speak? Do not say any word. Do not speak with the others." The man shows the absolute power. He does not have any life inside. People can speak with love only. Look at the John chapter 21. Jesus and Peter after resurrections of Jesus. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. If Jesus came to him, then asked, "Why did you deny me? Why did you do that?" From these questions, Peter could not answer and could not see him.
예수님께서 뭘 질문합니까? 요한의 아들 시몬아, 내가 이 사람들보다
But
나를 더
Jesus did not.
사랑하느냐?
He said, "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me more than this?" The sentence is the present tense, not the past tense. He asked, "Do you love me than this now?" Peter answered straightly, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." He committed a sin before, but now Jesus did not think of it. Jesus said, "Feed my lamb." This is his love. We need the love.
우리 믿음의 성도들이
We as truly God's children need to change from the power to love. In our church members try to focus on the power. We try to not speak anymore. We have nothing to say. We just judge others about which is right or which is wrong. This gives silly advice to others. They try to present their power to control their faith. They judge others like you have faith or not. People who have the power make a list of things, then judge others. They show their power, but this makes them not to speak anymore. Also, this lists people into death. This is the commandment, and this is not the gospel. We need to remember the foundation of the gospel. It's only love, not the power. We revive with love, and the love makes us with a warm heart. With this heart, we can see the miracles in our church. This is from the heart. Today's title is the face of the heart. It makes people alive. With a heart, you can become one of Jesus' disciples. Now let's pray. My Lord, please give me the faith of the heart. Please let me make others alive. I want to give others the love, not the power. Let's pray.